Welcome back, my friends. Welcome back. Scotty the Trucker coming to you from Walmart DC in Olney, Illinois. I left Prime Springfield early AM yesterday morning. Yep, had a good time there. Had a fiasco kind of coming out, a new one. It seemed like a new one for several Prime people. I'll talk about that on a little bit further along here. Yeah, I enjoyed my time at Springfield. I mentioned in the last video, this was, I don't think I'm lying here. I think this was the first time I ever asked for a 34. Had a few happen to me for maintenance, but the first time I actually asked for a little break. And it wasn't because I was worn out or anything. I was tired, but I was rolling. It's just I don't get to Springfield very often. I've been to Pittston, good God, 7, 8, 9 times in my, I think that's about right. I seem to be at Pittston all the time. And I've been to Salt Lake City. This is all I'm talking about during my solo. I've been to all 3 of them several times, during training and that sort of thing. But yeah, I don't get to. It was the first time in 4 months. It was the first time since upgrade that I've been to Springfield, I believe. So, and I enjoy it. I just thought it was a good time to take a little break, recharge the batteries, and I'm glad I did. That first day, like I mentioned in the video, I got to meet Lyle, no hippie. It was brief but fun. Yeah, as I mentioned, we got rolled up on by a talker, and it was a good guy. Yeah, like I said, Daniel, he was friendly, real good guy. I bumped into him again just before I left. I bumped into him at breakfast a little bit before I was heading out. Yeah, the next day, and I think I must be. I'm guessing I'm kind of weird when it comes to the terminals and Prime drivers. I think I do it differently than most. I like the Millennium building. It's cool. It's got the basketball court and the gift shop, and for those that you don't know, it's got all kinds of stuff. It's got doctor's office, CPAP office, it's got chiropractor, it's got salon, weight room, pool tables, ping pong tables, embroidery shop. It's got what am I leaving out? Of course, all the Prime infrastructure people there, dispatchers and all that. Great place. It's cool. But my ADHD makes me itch there after a little while. I just get kind of bored with it. It's great for a good meal. I like to hang out a little bit, but just hanging out there all day long, it's not exciting to me anymore. So I do it differently when I'm in Springfield, and that's what I did this time. I enjoy more kind of running the route that I did in my training when I was there, and even upgrade. I like to take the shuttles places. I like to hang out. I like to hang out more at the Plaza building than I do at the Millennium, to be honest. And that's what I kind of did. The full day that I had there, I got up. Let's see. I did get breakfast at the Millennium, I believe. Yes, I did. Then let's see. I walked. I still am trying to get in a significant walk every day. It doesn't always happen, but I try to get into I'm trying to get into a routine where I walk at least 10 minutes a day for the weight loss, but it's more so for my sciatica. I know early on when I started trucking, it was a marvel. All my back pain went away. I mean, gone. And I'm someone who lived with sciatica of some degree or another just about every day of my life before that. So I was thrilled, trucking, just the moving around, walking, and the climbing in and out of these things. For a while, my back pain went away entirely. It's back a little. It's better than it ever used to be, but I do wake up pretty stiff, and oftentimes my first hour or two, I'm kind of crooked, So a good walk tends to, as painful as it is, it's usually agony, but it does tend to knock it loose a little bit. So for both, healthy weight loss and the sciatica, I do like to walk. So I took the walk. I was parked over there by that back entrance, near the gift shop at the Millennium, and I walked on over to the Plaza building and went downstairs. This is the room that it's the nerve-wracking room where everybody kind of stages for their CDL. and it's also for pad training and whatnot. But I sat and had a cup of coffee there. It was lukewarm. They didn't have a fresh pot, but anyway, caffeine is caffeine, and I got a cup of coffee there. And then let's see, this was coming on to noon. So yeah, I took the shuttle from there to Campus Inn, and then walked across the street and got me some my wings, etc. And I'll put a picture. I took a picture of the plate. Man, that stuff is good. Oh, I dream about that one. I love me some good wings, and they got some good ones. Wings and tots. A little expensive, but whatever. You know, once in a while is not going to kill you. So yeah, I went there. Went back to the plaza. Sat, had a cup of coffee there again. I went outside. Sat on the bench, just kind of watching people practice. I thought I was watching Twiztid Big D. I thought it was his truck, and it looked like him out, but there was somebody in big coat and had the cowl on, wherever. I didn't see him, so I sat there for a while, hoping that maybe they'd come in and I'd get to meet him. It was pretty cold, so I eventually gave up. They were still practicing, but on the way out, I saw Twiztid Big D. Actually, he just changed his name, Twiztid D. Saw him in a truck on the way out of the pad, so I was stalking the wrong person. But anyway, I walked up and just, very quick, just said hi, told him I was Scotty. He recognized me more from from Scotty than I don't know that he watches my channel. I don't know if he does or not, but I have interacted with him a lot in his channel, the comments and things like that. And I'll say one thing about him. I think I mentioned it before. When I was in PSD and we were working on the pad, I was Eric's driver lineups. I was his first PSD trainee, first and only. So, he was coming off and learning these formulaic backings. For those of you who don't know, it's a world of difference learning to back for your CDL and what real world backing is. Almost completely dissimilar. The pad teaches you markers and formulas and things like that. I was looking at what we called tacos, little triangles underneath the landing gear, things like that, where it's almost a formula. You turn left here, you turn right here, you go straight back, you follow that, you do that, you go for the cone, things like that. And he knew most of it, but he was, like I said, I was his first. So he was talking to other people, along the way, just trying to get these markers down exactly right. And one of the things, we were working on parallel parking, and doing okay, but I don't know if it's so far back I don't remember, but for whatever reason we knew we were not quite right on the formula. On the we knew, gosh, it's late for me, but you basically, I think you turn all the way right, all the way left, and then back up towards a back cone of the parallel parking space. And he was having a little trouble getting that formula perfect. So he called, I was sitting next to him, he called Twiztid, and Twiztid gave him the simplest of little fixes, but it was amazing. I mean, after I got this, it just nailed the parallel every single time. And that's what I passed finally in my third try. I finally got parallel instead of alley. And I never, since that call with Twiztid, I never had any problem with parallel. And what it was, there's a point in that where you head towards the back corner cone. And I would do that, I was heading for it. What he said was, you want to split that cone right down the middle with the back corner of your trailer. When you're line of sight, you don't want to head where you see the whole cone, which was what I was doing. If you split that cone right down the center, you're going to nail it. And it was tiny advice, but huge. Man, it was good. So anyway, so got to meet him. Now on to the fiasco. I think let's see. Oh, the night before I had dinner. I wanted to, that's of note. I had dinner at the Millennium. Man, it was good. Oh my God, it was good. For me, it was like the perfect meal. As you know, country fried steak. They had that just by luck. Mashed potatoes and this corn that was freaking crazy good. It was whole kernel corn, but it had like a Southwest seasoning to it and some kind of little tiny peppers. Now, I'm not a pepper guy of any kind, so I little tiny peppers, things like that, once in a while I can deal with it in food, but I'm really not like a big fan of peppers. But these, man, it was so good, man. And they just smother the country fried steak and the mashed potatoes in that white gravy. Man, if it wouldn't have been embarrassing, I would have gone and gotten another plate. Man, it was good. All right, moving on. Time to leave. About 3 a.m. I had been by driver lineup earlier in the day and gotten my load. The trailer wasn't there yet, but I had gotten a load. It's going to be on the lot, and it was heading for Wisconsin. And anyway, a little bit, I think it was more like 4 o'clock, I got the call that it was there and I could pick it up, and I did. I pick up this trailer on the lot, and immediately when I go to check my weights, this was unreal to me. And this is a trailer that some prime driver drove from Texas to Springfield. My weights, my tandems were all the way forward, as far as they will go. My front weight was 37,000 pounds. My back weight was like 26, something like that. So there's nothing you can do with that, tandem-wise. You are overweight. My little thing back there, I think it said 26. So I went through outbound just to weigh, just to get the ticket and double check everything. So I went through outbound. As soon as I pulled up, I see the numbers up there. Worse, it was 38,000 and it was 23,000 in the back, tandems all the way forward. And I turned to the guy next to me, I was like, I got a problem. And he said, yep, I've never seen that before. So let's go talk to driver lineup. So we walked on and told him, I mean, it's not even close. It's bad weight. So he came out and looked at it, and he's like, yeah, nothing we can do with that. You're gonna have to put that one back, and we'll get you another load. So we did. I put it back, and they got me another load. Not there. I picked up in Cassville, Missouri, and ran that to here, Olney, Illinois, Walmart. And this is a great load. It's it's kind of a quick run, so not a huge paying load. But speaking of pay, everybody that's following me knows I had a big breakdown 3 weeks ago, something like that, and knocked the crap out of me. I'll be completely honest. Now, I've been doing what I was supposed to. I put money in my business account, which is my e-fund. I don't have one through Prime yet, but I'm thinking I might have. It couldn't hurt to do 2. After this, putting away a little more money is going to be on the table, and I don't know if I'll just add more to my business account or have that plus the e-fund. I don't know, but there's going to be more money being put in there. But anyway, did what I was supposed to. I'd been building that account. I have a savings for taxes, and I have my e-fund / business LLC account. So it wasn't my undoing at the point, but man, this got expensive because you go into the hole. I was into the hole at least 4,500, something like that. But here's the moral of the story. And during those 2 weeks, people have commented in my comments about my videos, about my attitude, and my mood seemed a little low, and it was, man, honestly, to some degree up until today, and that's what I was going to talk about. I mean, so you're in the hole, which means no paychecks home. Someone asked me about that, being in the hole. Prime pays your bills, and then you pay Prime back through payroll. It comes off for Prime until it's paid off, and then you start going into the black, and you're getting paid again. So there was 2 weeks after the breakdown where I didn't get paid at all. Third week, I had a good week. It would have been, if I was not in any kind of hole, it would have been a $3,000 check to my account. Over 3,000. It was a really good week. It was one of those long runs. It was the Kansas run I did a while back. Kansas, Virginia, I don't know. Would have been huge. Still ended up, I paid off the last of my in the hole money, and I still came out with $1,600. That was the week before this pay period. And anyway, today I got my and I've learned to cringe lately when I'm looking at my settlements, just since the breakdown. It's like, oh, you know, but man, I had a big week. I had my biggest week ever, and it was good. Now, I'm not billing this as the norm or whatnot, but I'll give you a few rounded figures. Basically, I grossed over $8,000 this past week. Now, I did have a long, like $4,000 run that didn't meet payroll last week, so I've started day one with like 4,000, something like that. So I'm being upfront. You know, this is not the norm, but it is the potential. So I had 8,400. I'm sorry, over 8,000. Anyway, I ended up with the check going into my account is just shy of $5,000. So way the best week I've ever had, and boy did I need it, because I've just come off of 2 weeks of no paycheck. And as you guys know, if you've been following me, I came out here because we had some financial issues at home. You know, those aren't gone yet. You know, I think it's another little misnomer. You come out here and you just think you're going to be making it rain and everything, and it's good money. It is. It's been good money for me, aside for those 3 weeks surrounding the breakdown. It's been good. No complaints. I'm really doing well. But those, you know, if you're coming out here and you're in that situation, you know, there's a pull from home that still kind of feeds into the trucking struggle. You know, we're not in a place where I can't be, you know, where I can go too many weeks not sending money home, especially around Christmas, you know. So yeah, man, it was good. It was, I don't know, I got my settlement sometime, I don't know, 5 a.m. this morning, something like that, and I texted my wife and I was like, I hope this doesn't wake her up, but I was excited. So it's great. I'm able in one check to replenish the money like I spent on hotel room and food and stuff for that week that I was down. My e-fund, whatever, is back to almost pre-breakdown level, and my taxes, I'll be able to put that in. So I'll balance both my accounts to where I was basically before the breakdown. I'm back where I need to be, you know, and keep growing. So yeah, huge, man, that was good. Yeah. And I guess I'll just tack on, I've gotten, and I talk about trolls and the lease people that, you know, paint with that broad brush. Nobody can make it at Prime. Nobody makes any money. You got 10,000 drivers who don't know they're losing money. That makes a lot of sense. You know. Yeah, so I'm a buffoon who doesn't realize I'm losing my ass in this job. It's not true. So, no, I'm doing fine. And this happened to be like the best week ever so far. So, wanted to share that at least. But yeah, and man, open invitation. I hesitate to even use the word trolls. Several of my YouTuber buddy pals out there, they get nailed by these people all the time. I have like two that they're not even trolls. They're not, you know, like I said, they don't start with an "you're an idiot" comment, you know, but it's always a little bit of Prime hate, and you know, some kind of comment that you know, we're fools for being lease drivers. There's no way we're making money, you know. This $5,000 check, I'm lying to you, though I don't know why I would. I've been open about the struggles. I don't know why I would lie on this side, but anyway, I usually respond basically the same way to these people, and I've never gotten a response, not once, and I've responded many times. If you come at me with the Prime hate, you know, it's a terrible place, and you're entitled to that. And I don't feel any responsibility to change your mind. To be honest, I'm not going to get into this tit for tat stuff that I've seen other YouTubers, like they feel like it's incumbent upon them to change their mind. Change your mind or not, I don't care. I'm going to say what I want to say. I'm going to be truthful, and I honestly don't care if you believe me. That's on you, not me. You have to make the judgment call if I'm an honest person or not me. But I tell them, you know, if it's Prime hate or lease op or anything, all this stuff about, you know, terrible choice coming to Prime, I say thank you for your comments somewhat usually, and then I say fine, I'm all ears. First, is this knowledge that you're imparting is very strongly worded, not trollish, but strongly worded disagreement, we'll say, is this rooted in first-hand experience? Did you work for Prime and fail at lease? I'll tell you, if that's the case, I can learn something from you. I'm all ears, and I mean it sincerely. If any of these people are coming to me and bitching because they tried and failed at Prime, I'd like to hear from them. I'd like to hear it. I'd like to avoid that. So that's my first question. Is this first-hand knowledge, or are you just regurgitating the crap you hear on Facebook and everything, and it's the cool thing for non-Prime drivers to throw the little hate that way and act like you know what you're talking about? I never got an answer to that. And then the second part of that is, okay, you hate Prime. You can't make money at Prime. Prime training sucks, all that, whatever it is. Fine. If you make a strong statement, you should be able to back it up. So I ask, fine, what would you suggest for people who do not have a lot of money, who cannot afford a $5,000 CDL school? What do you suggest, ma'am, sir, for someone in that situation to get their foot in the door, to be able to go to a training that they can afford with no money and get their foot in the door, where you get a job at the end of that? Now, there's only two choices. At least when I came in, there's only two choices. Well, it still is two choices at that point. Company, lease. Nothing else, you know. You don't enter this industry, you know, at the top of the food chain. Like people, this idiotic sense that, you know, that you made a choice that was financially viable to you and then followed the contract. You know, they pay for everything, you know, and you owe them a year. I think that is fair. I don't see how that would not be fair, you know. So I ask those questions, and it's crickets every single time. I have never had someone answer that. They have nothing, you know. They got their hate, and it's usually just something they keep hearing on the internet. They don't know. I doubt anybody who didn't go to Prime is going to sit down with the Prime lease contract. You know, they don't know what they're talking about. You know, they have no idea. You know, and it flies in the face of the visual evidence. I mean, just in the YouTube universe, you can find, I can think of probably 10 right off the bat. 2 right off, I mean, really right off the bat. Driver lineup and Lyle. They have multiple trucks because they've owner-opt at Prime. They are successful. There's no way to not count that as successful. They own several trucks, you know. So I just find it comical, you know, the stuff that they throw. It just makes zero sense. Why would thousands of drivers just blindly continue to do a job that they're losing money? Do they somehow not know they're losing money? I mean, wouldn't these drivers that continue year after year in the lease program, wouldn't they eventually truly go under? I mean, I think it would come about eventually. So anyway, I enjoy it. Like I said, I'm not going to get into a spit and match with them. Do not care whether I change their mind or not. I'm not trying to change their mind, but I'm all ears. I really am. If you're going to throw the hate, at least be able to back it up. Why? Is it first-hand knowledge? And if so, I am interested. I do want to hear from you. I'd like to learn the pitfalls to avoid. If it's not, shut up, because you don't know what you're talking about. Or don't shut up. I don't care. I enjoy you either way. It's fun for me. But yeah, just kind of beating a dead horse now. But anyway, that just a little word on that. I don't know. Part of me is disappointed that I haven't gotten the lease trolls. I don't know if they just, maybe it's because I say stuff like that. They know it's kind of a waste of time. I'm just going to play with you for a little bit and then ignore you. Probably won't even block you unless you're bothering other subscribers. It's not bothering me. You know, as soon as you throw down a hateful word to me, and as you know, a derogatory thing, I don't get mad. You cease to matter. You disappear as far in my scheme of things. So anyway, so I'm happy to have you. I'm like I said, part of me is a little disappointed that I haven't had the fun of dealing with some of these folks. So you're welcome to come, and you're welcome. Open invitation. Anybody can answer those two things, then I'll leave you alone on the hate stuff. You know, you are entitled. If you can prove to me that those two things are you know, in place, then you're entitled to have, you know, to spit the venom. I don't mind. Anyway, I'll talk to you soon. I've gone way longer. Whatever. I always do that. All right. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.